Chairman Graham, Ranking Member Whitehouse, members of the subcommittee, thank you for this opportunity to discuss the role that the FDA plays in regulating marijuana in the United States. First, let me be clear. In addition to the important work the FDA has in overseeing the approval and use of prescription drugs from marijuana and its constituents, we understand the importance of supporting the efficient and scientific assessment of marijuana and drug development. Marijuana contains compounds with real potential to provide new treatments for important diseases, and rigorous studies are needed to assess their potential and, where appropriate, develop and deliver those new drugs for use by Americans. FDA continues to believe that the drug approval process established by Congress represents the best way to ensure the safe and effective new medicines for marijuana are available as soon as possible for the largest numbers of U.S. public. First, FDA is the agency that is responsible for the assessment and regulation of new drugs in the United States. The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act requires that drugs be shown to be safe and effective for their intended use before marketing. In addition, drugs must be shown to be manufactured consistently to lot with high quality. Because many factors influence the makeup of plant materials, such as temperature, time of year, and location, this essential part of drug development presents special challenges when the drug is being developed from a botanical source, such as marijuana. To address these challenges and to speed development, FDA has established a botanical review team and revised and recently published guidance to investigators to give recommendations on how to study plant-derived drugs. As a part of our work to regulate prescription drugs, FDA also provides specific recommendations to the Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA, on drugs and other products that have the potential to be abused, so-called controlled substances, including marijuana. While DEA is the lead federal agency responsible for regulating controlled substances and enforcing the Controlled Substances Act, FDA, working with NIDA, provides scientific recommendations about appropriate controls for drugs with abuse potential. To make this recommendation, we are responsible for preparing the so-called 8-factor analysis, which is a document that is used to assess how likely a drug is to be abused. At the request of DEA, in 2001 and again in 2006, FDA conducted a review of the available data on marijuana and an 8-factor analysis, and recommended that marijuana remain in Schedule 1, the most restrictive schedule, both because of its high risk for abuse and because there was not sufficient evidence that marijuana had an accepted medical use in the United States. DEA is currently in the process of evaluating 2 citizen petitions regarding the scheduling of marijuana. Next, let me turn to the work FDA is doing to support efficient development of drugs derived from marijuana as a part of our larger mission to promote the availability of safe and effective medical products for Americans in all therapeutic areas. To accomplish this, we have developed and are using a number of flexible and innovative approaches to expedite drug development. In this area, for example, FDA has granted fast-track designation, a provision intended to facilitate the development and expedite review of promising new therapies, to the investigational cannabidiol product, Epidiolex. One goal of these expedited mechanisms is to speed drug availability for patients. I have also spoken personally to the parents of children with seizure disorders. I understand the importance of making investigational products like Epidiolex available to patients quickly, even while the products continue to be studied for approval whenever possible. To this end, FDA has strongly supported the work done by GW Pharmaceuticals, which has announced that they have established more than 20 expanded access programs for Epidiolex to treat these patients with epilepsy syndromes. To date, well over 400 patients have received Epidiolex through these programs. While doing what we can to speed the pace of development for promising investigational products, we are also mindful of protecting consumers and have taken actions in 2015 and again earlier this year against unapproved products making egregious healthcare claims that allegedly contained cannabidiol and other cannabinoids. Some of these products allegedly containing cannabidiol claim to be effective in the treatment of cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, and Ebola. We tested and found that some of them contained no cannabidiol. In other cases, they contained different levels than what the manufacturers claimed. Marketing such products does more than simply defraud consumers. These products and their marketing create false hope, in those seeking relief from serious medical conditions for themselves or their loved ones, including children. Finally, FDA understands the importance of working with other federal agencies on marijuana. In addition to the work I mentioned on scheduling with NIDA and DEA, our scientific staffs work closely together to understand the effects of marijuana-derived compounds such as cannabidiol. This week, FDA has identified a specific clinical FDA has identified a specific clinical study for cannabidiol that's needed to assess its risks for abuse, and with NIDA, we are working to find ways to complete it. To close my remarks, there is considerable public interest in developing new therapies for marijuana. FDA will continue to support the efficient development of new drugs from marijuana that are safe, effective, and manufactured to a high quality to speed their availability for the American public. Thank you very much for your interest in this important topic. I'm happy to answer any questions I can.